I've not even introduced you. I'm Kyle.
Hi, I'm Roland.
Roland. And what is your job title?
On Just Cause 3.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you're about to talk to us about
Awesome.
Just Cause 3.
Let's see it.
I am.
Okay, excellent. We're going to start playing a little sec. I think we're just running the trailer.
Yep.
Okay, cool. What would you like to talk to us about Just Cause 3 in particular? What makes this so good?
I mean, it's awesome.
Okay.
Just a huge action sandbox game that's about whatever you feel like doing and blowing tons of stuff up in a Mediterranean-inspired world. That's 400 square miles of just awesomeness.
400 square miles of awesomeness. One thing I was curious about is like the progression of this game.
Yes.
How do you stop someone from seeing the best thing within the first 15 minutes?
Because there are so many systems that we've built over time.
Uh-huh.
That as soon as you start getting good at a system, you're going to start asking yourself, well, does this system start working with this one?
Here, I'm going to ask you to move a little closer to your mic.
All right.
There we go.
Should I move my seat closer?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Less echo?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh, listen,
great.
that
Perfect.
crisp
Perfect.
voice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's much better. You get a little deeper on there, too.
Sure.
Perfect. So let's take an example.
Okay.
You start with the grapple hook, right?
Yeah.
You guys played JC2?
Yes, I
at
do.
all? Okay, so the grapple hook, you could tether any two things together in the world. Awesome, right? Because
Yes.
anything that wasn't nailed down to the ground, you could move it with the grapple hook. Now we unnailed everything in a way where like everything's about physics.
Sure.
And just cause physics. So even the chaos objects, there's no more health bar on it. It's actually a physically constrained object in the world with, parts and everything like that. So when you tether a part off of it, you can actually rip a whole piece off of that part. Now, you take that a step further, you can now control the tension on the grapple line yourself with using an analog trigger, which means you grapple two things together and you can slowly bring them together or smash them together.
Oh, so it's not just a trigger. It's like if you just do this, it'll like you control how it retracts and contracts.
You really control the tension itself. And then you take that and you're like, all right, well, that's cool. Like, yeah, I can kind of get that, but it'll take a little while to get good at it. Now you add 5, 6 tethers in the world at the same time. Now you can start doing huge chains and turn people into puppets and tie vehicles to the sides of buildings and.
How do I turn a person into a puppet? Let's get through this because that's very interesting to me.
Let's keep talking about the system.
Yeah.
So instead of being able to grapple a central point on the body,
Yeah.
you can actually tether any point on any part of the body and it'll attach there. So if you aim at a person's hand,
Yeah.
we don't auto target it to that center bone anymore.
Okay.
We let you grapple the hand, so you can grapple a hand to someone's face and just slap them in the face.
But I can also do it really slow.
Really
too,
slow.
right?
You could just, yeah, exactly. Just face palm.
Okay.
Really slow. Oh, so we're already at our first choice. See, we've been going so well right now.
Sure.
So here.
You got to explain our way through this. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
It's okay. We can talk about whatever you want. That's
Okay.
the beauty of it. But we're showing off the game. We just wanted to show gameplay to people.
Absolutely.
And so this is the game. So there's Medici and Rico. He is now over 2,500 animations. Here we'll actually see the multi-tether and actually even we're going to do slapping himself. in
Oh,
the face.
great.
So this is like one of the iconic statues that you have to destroy because you're going to destroy all the propaganda in the town. Mm-hmm. And there you go. And we worked with Havoc Destruction, so we have full Havoc Destruction in the world, so it'll all break in cool new ways, except for the head. We left the head together so it could become a wrecking ball.
It's
I
more
like
dramatic
that,
this
yeah.
way too. I like
'Cause
that.
It's awesome.
Yep.
We've also made it really seamless to move around the world. So, for example, when you reel to an edge, you don't have to hit jump anymore. You just push forward, and he'll just vault up onto the roof.
Cool.
This idea of just being able to flow easily through everything. Here is a propaganda speaker where Di Ravello spouts his propaganda. You'll notice each piece can break apart and pull apart. Again, it's the physics of the world. Every single town has its own identity. We're in Alba right now. And this is a town a little out in the countryside up near a cliff. Of course, we like explosions, and they get bigger. Yeah.
Awesome.
Part of that is like, the gas stations are so much fun to blow up. We took them out of the chaos object system and decided, hey, why don't you just be able to blow that up again when you're coming back to the town later?
Do I get this grappling hook from the start of the game?
Yeah, right from the beginning.
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
There's a new wingsuit.
Yeah.
So the new wingsuit, the idea behind it was as we stabilized the parachute, we wanted to put a wingsuit in there, but the old parachute was great and really good for moving around the world, but we wanted to make that a way that you could fight in the air.
This footage is unreal.
Yeah,
This
and
looks so fun. Just soaring, man.
You soar. You do a wingsuit plus the grapple. It's insane. You can literally do this for hours, and it's just joy. It's joy in your heart, smiling, just having fun. And our philosophy is that you make a game, right? This just causes a game. It's not trying to be anything else. It's about you being in this huge world where there's enormous explosions. Like, this is one of our port bases, and we've done full physicalized water systems. So you take a jet ski, you can jump waves now in the game. I mean, it's huge and gorgeous, and everything you see in the distance you can go to. Hell, even our vegetation is destructible. Well, right here is one of our massive spherical fuel tanks, and we're going to come up to another choice of how you want to blow up some fuel tanks.
Bowling ball.
The bowling ball.
Yeah.
There it is, number 3. That was quick. So here you're going to see the dual tether. You can kind of see the scale of these fuel tanks. Every piece of this fuel tank is actually constructed. So all the arms and all that are actually physically constrained. So if you want to shoot off bits and pieces of it and roll it down a hill and cause a huge explosion, you can do that. Or you can use multiple tethers, grapple it to the side, go get yourself a view outside of the base, hold down the trigger so that you actually start retracting on the strength, and you'll see, you can lift these giant things into the air, and then it'll blow up everything.
How many tethers can I shoot?
You can do up to 6 in the world right now, but we're still tuning it. It's all about how many can you keep in your head and still be cool. You can also cancel tethers at any time, and it's kind of an advanced maneuver, but once you kind of learn how to cancel it in mid-reel, you can slingshot things around. That's pretty cool. We rebuilt all the vehicles from the ground up. We have guys on the team from Need for Speed and from Burnout who came on board, and they've been helping us get the vehicles to feel weighty and awesome, and explosions and deformation and hinged parts. And you can after-touch the drift so that you can recorrect your drift while you're doing it. You can after-touch the vehicle while it's in the air. We've made it so you can mod the vehicle, so you can have nitrous. Our Knight Rider, that was Knight Rider turbo jump, because why not? You can flip your vehicles. Here's like a beautiful sunflower field, and you can just plow through it. And what's awesome about it is it actually leaves a trail behind it, so you can draw images in the sunflower field, which is going to be great for the internet. Everyone's going to love that one. And right now, so we escaped a little heat right there because they'll chase you and so forth. And you can actually, instead of escaping heat, we didn't like the idea that you always had to run away, because it feels weird if you're Rico and you're always running away. So we did a system where if you keep killing all the people, chop. There you go.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, do it.
I get really excited. So this is like a weird interactive B-roll demo.
Yeah. So you just kind of do whatever you want, and we're gonna go take out a bridge right now, because we didn't do destruction just on chaos objects and gas stations and stuff like that. We also did it on enormous structures like the bridge, and that's fun. Just blowing stuff up. So it's got both miniguns, so as explosions go, and it'll blow up different every time, and you can use the grapple on it. You can grab those pieces and smash them. There's a dude who forgot to stop, so he drove off. That was sad for him. All for the revolution, though. Freeing Medici.
How do I get a helicopter in the actual game? Is it really as simple as like walking up to one and like picking it up, or does it not appear until later in?
I feel like we're gonna do it right now. So everything you unlock, so every base you destroy will give you like a new awesome vehicle or a new weapon, and then it's in your rebel drop, and then you just want something, you just rebel drop it by going in a menu saying, I want a plane and dual-handed pistols, and I want an RPG, and I want an auto rifle, and you can just grab all of it right at once, just throw it right there, it spawns right in front of you. It's got some confetti and stuff for some fun. And so here, like, we've redone all the vehicle models have been totally redone, and we also redid the stunt models, so you can just walk freely in the game now, anywhere you want. So you can walk around, and anything you can do walking on the ground, you can now do on the top of a plane, running along the top of a train, on the top of cars. Of course, we have over 80 vehicles. It's crazy. So many vehicles. You can fire from a motorcycle. We have enemies that use motorcycles too, so they can chase you down. You can have gunfights that way. You can, of course, always go into parachute anytime you want.
If there's 2 enemies coming at me in 2 motorcycles, can I tether these 2 together and then make them do that?
Yeah, man.
Okay, that's really cool. That's really cool.
Our chat's asking if you have like an approximate vehicle count. How many they'll see in the game?
God, it's hard to say. It's a lot. I think we're just over 80 right now. While we're in this polish phase, there's always that moment where you're like, I think we should have an F1 racer inspired car, and so we built that.
I
'cause
saw it
it's
in the
awesome.
trailer.
Cool.
Yeah. Do you have to destroy a later base to get that one? Is that like one of the top items?
So all the civilian vehicles, non-military vehicles, they're just in the world. And once you free a town, the rebels open up kind of like a garage, because that's what rebels do.
Yeah.
And they open up a garage, and any vehicle you bring to that garage, you can then collect it, which means it's now available to be dropped at any point you want. So you want a bus, you just drive a bus there.
And then like throw the bus grenade, right?
And you throw the bus grenade and boom, bus
Cool.
in front of you. You want like a cargo plane,
Mm-hmm.
a whole cargo plane just right there, wherever you want it. And the idea is that you unlock all these mods by doing challenges. Because it's not really upgrades. Rico's never going to be upgraded to anything. That seems weird. It's already Rico, right?
Yeah.
So we're inspired by modders. And the idea is you can go in and let's say your grenade. You're like, oh, I want this grenade to be glass so that it hits the ground and explodes. And then you're like, I'd like it to be enemy seeking. So you throw it in the air and it'll curve in the air and hit the nearest enemy. And then you can turn these mods on and off to play any way you want. So for example, you want a bus, but you want a bus with nitrous and turbo jump because that's cooler. So you do that. Or we've been playing around right now with tractors to see who can drift the longest in a tractor with nitrous. That's pretty good. And we have like a whole asynchronous system. So and say I drift for a minute 30, I can send you a challenge that say, yo, can you drift for more than a minute 30 in a tractor?
Yeah. And I would say yes, challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted, and
Yeah.
you would try to do it.
Yeah.
And you would try to figure out how it does. So the game it's all about being connected and kind of sharing stuff if you want to, or you can just, be a hermit at home and blow stuff up and laugh.
I'm a hermit, absolutely. So it's probably that, laughing to myself.
That works.
Looks like we're getting a lot of votes for parachute.
Oh, that was my vote too. We got to do
Yeah.
parachutes. You're right. We should always go with what chat wants.
That's
us to
true.
do.
We've been
Yeah.
just choosing
Yeah.
everything.
I'm sorry for being selfish, everybody.
So here we're going to show, so the parachute is meant to be really stable now. You'll notice he doesn't hit the ground very fast. The idea is that you can really stay in the air for a long period of time. You can still slingshot around. You can switch weapons easily. And of course now you're not just carrying two different types of weapons because, you have like an awesome RPG, and then you have only an RPG and handguns. So we were like, well, it'd be better if you could have an RPG and an automatic rifle and handguns because that's better.
Yeah,
And so now you can.
you're right.
And now you can hang upside down from a helicopter, and all the same mechanics are available. You can dual tether things. We've put infinite planted explosives in your hand.
Infinite.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you can plant, like, if you keep modding it, you can put it up to like 5 at once.
Cool.
And then you blow it up, and you got 5 more, and you just keep doing that because it's just cause. And then we were messing around like last week before we came out, and we were like, let's just show us taking out this base. So this is one of our communications array, but the whole base itself is meant to be a joyful vertical craziness. So if you stay on the ground, you're going to get your ass kicked. That's just a reality. But if you realize you can stay in the air and run around and use your grapple hook and
We
your
just
parachute,
tethered that, yeah?
yeah, you just tether that and
Cool.
suck that in, and it blows up the whole radar dish. And anything that's red, there you go, it just blows up. So that guy, he had a certain weight to him, which was just enough to be able to move that helicopter. When you're reeling in, you can fire at the same time. So right there, he reeled in and fired an RPG. That's one of our RPGs that looks like a shotgun RPG. I don't know why you
A
would...
shot like 4, yeah?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, it wouldn't be very useful in the world, but in Just Cause, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and then jets, of course, and every vehicle type you can think of. And there it is. That's a little
That
look
Yeah.
at
was
Just Cause
awesome.
3.
Demo.
Awesome.
Do you mind taking a few questions from our chat?
Fire away.
From Captain Fuzzy Pants, what was the thought process behind Unlimited C4? Do you think did you ever worry that this was too overpowering, or is that kind of the point of it?
There was actually a big debate about it, and the thing that there's always an ongoing debate is you have to be able to plant it. It's actually a planted explosive. It's not a grenade. So your grenades, they are actually a supply, and that's the thing you throw around. But the planted C4, you have to actually go to where you want to plant it, whether it's on the ground or on a dude's face or on your vehicle or wherever you want to plant it, you can, but it takes a moment. And during that moment, if you're getting shot, you could get killed. So it's a little bit of a risk-reward system, but we wanted to set it up so that you always have an explosion in your pocket. all the time, just in case.
Just in case.
I think that one
Just
could be
'cause.
misinterpreted somewhere. That's fine. Just gonna leave that. We're gonna leave that alone.
This is from. Oh, sorry, I don't have this. But do you mind as the developer behind this game if people don't play the story but just kind of play it as this like sandbox world to like mess around in?
Not at all.
Blow
I mean,
stuff up.
We built the story in the same tone as the game. The types of movies that I was inspired by from storytelling are the old Spielberg stuff. The Indiana Jones and more modern, I guess, something like Tropic Thunder. You get like some really fun characters who feel kind of real and mess with each other, but at the same time, it can be totally ridiculous. You can be chased by a giant boulder, and that's cool, and it makes sense in the world because it's ridiculous, but the characters feel real. So we tried to do a story that had grounded, cool characters, and because Rico is coming home, this is where he grew up as a kid, and he left because of a dictatorship. The beauty of that is, and you guys know, you guys have become successful. Your friends don't really care that you're that successful.
No, you're right.
They will mess with you forever.
Yeah.
And you can be like, oh, I'm really successful now. You should respect me.
I tell my friends that every day.
Yep.
It doesn't work, does
No.
it? Not at all. So
Kyle tells me that. He says, you should respect me. I am successful.
Just washes right off. Never any impact.
it never
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
And so we can make characters that interact with Rico who knew him as a kid, who knew him as a punk who was running around and jumping off stuff because that's surely what Rico was doing. And, that's the idea behind the story. And it's a mission structure. And basically the missions are completely open. It's, go over here and do something, but you can do it any way you want. And so hopefully it's just, we tried to do the missions so that you get the opportunity to learn new ways of using all these systems together. But really, the game is your game. You do whatever you want. If you want to spend the day just driving a sports car along, beautiful cliffside roads, and that's all you want to do for a few hours, and then you're going to quit and play another game, I think that's kind of what Just Cause is. It's not the game you sell back. It's a game that's sitting there, and you're like, you know what? I just really want to fly a jet for a little while and then crash it into something and watch it explode.
What's like an objective of a typical story mission?
It's you got to destroy stuff usually.
Right, and so there's like so many ways to destroy stuff
Yeah.
that I'm curious like how you plan around it.
Well, you say destroy stuff, and then all the systems kind of hopefully work all together. That's one of the joys of making giant open world games is you got to work with really talented people who understand like, oh, what if I did this? Okay, that breaks everything. We've got to make that work. So and then you just make all those edge cases work. You just polish and you polish and you polish.
Speaking of games breaking, there's a question from Mr. E. Fox that in the making of Just Cause 3, did you have a favorite bug you encountered?
In Just Cause 3?
Yeah.
There's one that I still haven't pulled out of the game because I think it's so funny. Is that you can tether someone's foot to their butt. And when you pull in the retract,
Yeah.
the problem is the physics is always causing that object to be pushing against itself.
Yeah.
So it kind of turns them into a break dancer. And it's an awesome bug, and I keep looking at it, and I'm like, do you really want to pull that out of the game? Like, maybe that's just something you want to leave it?
You should make an achievement even.
You can make
Yeah.
people break dance.
But
Yeah.
it becomes a new game. It becomes South Park Fractured Butthole with that in it. This is from Goo Baby.
I'm sorry, before Goo Baby, I have one more question.
Oh, yeah, sorry, go
Could
ahead.
you take someone's face and attach that to someone else's butt?
You can.
And you can make it really slow, the way that it contracts into it?
If that is what you want, and that is your sandbox experience.
Yeah, I think that might be mine.
You will
Because that
respect
is so
me.
funny to me. What do they do? What do the humans do while I'm doing that?
They're probably upset.
Yeah.
But at the same time, most of our civilians, because it's a game where you blow everything up and free people by doing it. So we had to take a little bit of a joke at ourselves on it. So let's say you hijack a car and you chuck someone out.
Yeah.
They'll be like, anything for the revolution. Because
Otherwise, it kind of ruins the balance of like how you feel about yourself. Yeah,
you can't
exactly,
you can't be serious when you can grapple someone's face to their butt. You
Yeah,
gotta you gotta realize that it still feels real, and it feels like a world, and we built it so that the world itself looks like it has history. There are Roman ruins that are the military bases are built on top of. The same thing you'd see in the Mediterranean, and there's trash hasn't been picked up, and people stand in lines because that's what people do when they're depressed. And and that's the point of the game, is just to have this fun. And then when you free a town, the civilians are kind of walking up, and the rebels are all spawned there.
Yeah.
Like, you can get in a vehicle, honk your horn, rebels will jump in, you can drive around, and they'll shoot out the vehicle.
Yeah.
But what's cooler is you just set a waypoint somewhere, anywhere in the world. You can stunt out on that vehicle, and a rebel will slide into the driver's seat and drive to your waypoint. So now you can just be out there stunting, blowing stuff up as much as you want. So you can create your own car chases and action moments.
Cool. I interrupted Goo Baby's
Oh, no,
question.
no,
I feel
sure.
bad about that.
I'll hit you with 2 questions that
Okay.
that might be quick to answer. Do you unlock the wingsuit from the start? Is one, and will there be more Easter eggs and secrets in Just Cause 3 since it was such a huge part of 2?
So the first one, the wingsuit, yeah, you get it super early. We actually don't unlock it right in the first mission, because the first mission we're just kind of bringing you into the world and
Sure.
kind of setting the scene and the tone of the game, kind of all in that. And then the wingsuit will come, I don't know, within 10 minutes or so. And then once you get it, you can do all this stuff right away. It does take a little practice, but that's the point of a game. Like, you can get better and better at it. And once you get it, it's just joyful.
That looks like the feeling of flight. I love how that looks. What is the actual input of doing that?
All you're doing is controlling it with the left stick,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're using the grapple, and you're just tapping.
So you just give it a tap?
You're just tapping.
Cool.
Tapping LB.
Keep calling him Tanuki Rico.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, wait, hold on. The Easter eggs question.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Easter
Yeah.
eggs. Yes.
Okay. That's a good yes or no.
You heard it
Yeah,
here
yeah.
first. Are we going to see that 100 people multiplayer mod implemented in Just Cause 3?
I mean, that's a tough question because it's a mod. The modders are awesome. They even
Yeah,
visited
if they
us,
make
and
it.
we were huge fans of it, and it was sweet. I mean, all the mods that came out are amazing, and most of us started in game development by modding games and changing them and messing around with it. So we want to keep doing that, but their mod is a very specific setup that works for that. It wouldn't really work in the same way. Like, in your mind, it works really great. Like, oh, I could do this with 1,000 people, but imagine if you wanted to slow reel someone's face into their butt.
There's somebody coming in like with a truck and it would
Yeah,
like run
and
him
they would,
over. I
like,
was like, hey, I
grief
was
you in
doing
the
something
game.
here. Yeah.
So we wanted to really focus on that awesome next-gen experience. I don't know about you guys. When I first played JC2, I was surprised that it ran on a console, and it ran well. And it made you smile, and you're like, how the hell did they do that? And then when I got to join Avalanche Studios and do that work, we wanted to give this generation, like, how the hell did they do that on a PS4 or an Xbox One? So that you get that feeling of this huge worlds, and who's to say what the modders are going to do with it. I hope that it's a good enough game that modders are going to get involved with it. And I love multiplayer games too. I think there's room to do single player stuff, and we focused on a lot of the social features, like being able to do brags and challenge your friends and leaderboard stuff and all that. And with the share buttons that are existing now, where you can just upload stuff pretty easily or stream stuff, it's just awesome, right? So that's all built pretty perfectly for Just Cause. I'm always interested in doing new things, and I think it's not unlikely to happen eventually.
Yeah. Cool. Our editor-in-chief, Brandon Jones, he was telling us about how the parachute is kind of more where you're doing your aerial assault from, whereas the wingsuit, you're kind of that's just more for travel. Chat's wondering if you can actually shoot from the wingsuit, or is that impossible?
We don't allow that currently.
Yeah.
The reason for it is the wingsuit itself, we wanted to make it a traversal mechanic and make it a pure, wonderful traversal mechanic. And because we've simplified those controls, once you get a handle on that, and we were talking about a system to be able to reel stuff in,
Yeah.
you can actually use that while you're reeling around in the wingsuit. So that system on that left trigger, so you can actually accelerate even faster doing that, and it'll actually change the animation sets. You can do cool flips and stuff like that. So we wanted to really push that sense of movement and then open the parachute, because you can just go endlessly between parachute and wingsuit. So you want to do combat, boom, go in the parachute, and now you can blow the hell out of anything
pretty
you
cool.
want. And then wingsuit's like, I want to get over there right now. And so we kind of wanted to balance that out for now, but I mean, I'm sure the modding community will put rockets on that in about 5 seconds.
Where do you draw the line? Where do you say no, too crazy?
Most of it, you don't really draw a line. You look at what is going to work with everything else in the game.
Yeah.
And sometimes someone comes with an idea and it's just like, laser beams. And you're like, it's cool, but like Just Cause isn't laser beams.
Yeah.
So you don't do laser beams. I know someone might want to mod and do laser beams, and that's awesome, and that would be a great mod. But in the game itself, you want to maintain the lore and narrative so it all feels consistent, because then it all feels cohesive as well. That's kind of that's the difficult balance, and luckily there's some really good devs around that will constantly challenge you all the time to be like, can I put this in?
And then you say, no laser beams.
And I say no laser beams, but a shotgun RPG sounds fine.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is like I get it because there wouldn't be laser beams in Tropic Thunder. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But there absolutely would be a shotgun missile launcher.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like it's a weird line of like, would that exist within this universe?
So
Exactly.
Chat's wondering if an orbital laser cannon is out of the question.
That's
not too much.
It's come up a bit. It's a little too much. It's a little big, but I mean, we do have. I wonder if we're even. Who cares? I'm gonna announce it anyways. We do have the ability to call in like airstrikes, and there are cooler and cooler different types of airstrikes. So there are some weapons that do some absolutely devastating amount of destruction, including the weapon you unlock right at the very end when you've kind of beaten the story mode, is just an uber weapon, because sometimes you're like, I want to take out the base with one bullet, and it does.
I'm glad you saved that one for last
Yeah.
too. You know, when I said like, how do you make sure that people don't see the best thing first? It's like you have it. That's the reward for
It's a
like.
reward.
Yeah, exactly.
You've blown up everything. You've probably played the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you kept playing to the very end, you're playing, I don't know, 40, 50, 100 hours or whatever it is. And you get to that point and you're like, all right, now I just want to do silly things that I'm
Yeah.
going to upload to my friends.
Aside from like the previous games, are there any other games that sort of inspired you?
And I'm sorry, this is our last question.
Unless
Sorry.
there's like anything else that you want to talk about.
Okay.
December 1st,
December 1st.
PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC.
What happens on December 1st?
The game comes out.
Yes.
Thank
Just want to make sure we're giving everyone context.
Making it clear. Thank you. Just got to throw that one in there. Games that inspire me. I mean, I've been playing games since I was a kid. I remember the Roberta Williams games, the adventure games, King's Quest, Quest for Glory games that basically inspired you to invent what you wanted. I remember the Ultima 7. Do you remember that game that came out? Ultima 7 allowed you to do whatever you want. It had a magic carpet hidden in it, this little Easter egg, and you could suddenly fly around and you could kill a mission giver, and it would kind of ruin the game, but the game didn't end. And I just love the idea of games that were about you. I mean, obviously I played GTA and Red Dead, and the Far Cry series has just gotten better and better. I've been playing a lot of The Witcher. That game is awesome. Nice job, CD Projekt. It's fucking sweet. I'm not even sure I'm not to swear.
You
Sorry.
absolutely are.
Yeah,
Drop
yeah.
as many
Oh,
as you
yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Good. Sorry about that. I always forget where I am. Yeah, so I mean, really, I love games that are just creative, even like Minecraft. Any game that allows me to allow my own imagination to exist a bit, and that I can feel like I might have done something that no one else has ever done using a game, that's kind of where I would draw inspiration from.
Cool.
I feel like you've made a game on those tiers too. Like those things you love from those games is in your game.
Yeah,
Does that feel good?
it feels so good.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining
thanks for
us.
coming.
I think we have to move on to Hitman. Very
Oh,
cool.
that's
Thank you so
awesome.
much.
Yeah,
December
thank you.
1st, yeah?
December 1st.
December 1st. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks
guys.
a lot, man.
So we should switch to Ian Cam probably.